Well, good morning, Jagendra Rana here. The product of the day is Public Liability Act Insurance. Public Liability Act Insurance. The liability insurance, as the name suggests, shields your property from any sort of liability, like damages caused by and in your insured property. The policy protects any guest or third parties who have suffered damages physically or to their property. Additionally, the policy also covers the liability due to any legal issues of the insured house. Liability insurance is a policy that offers protection to businesses and individuals from risk that they may be held legally or sued for negligence, malpractice, or other injuries. So this insurance policy protects the insured from legal payouts and cost for which the policyholder is deemed to be responsible. In India, it is mandatory to have vehicle insurance, and liability only coverage is the minimum coverage required as per the Motor Vehicle Act of 1988. This liability insurance is a type of motor vehicle insurance that covers damage and injuries you cause to the property and their property. But this Public Liability Insurance Act or Public Liability Act Insurance is to provide for public liability insurance for purpose of providing immediate relief to persons affected by accident while handling any hazardous substance and for matters concerned therewith or incidental thereto. So every owner shall take out before he starts handling any hazardous substance one or more insurance policies providing for contracts of insurance whereby he is insured against liability to give relief as above. Every owner shall get such insurance policy renewed from time to time to ensure that it remains in force for throughout the period during which such handling is continued. The Public Liability Act 1991 provides through insurance immediate relief by you who control or handle hazardous chemicals to persons affected due to accident due to handling of such hazardous substance on no fault liability basis. Limit of indemnity means the limit is fixed per accident and per policy period, which is called any one accident limit and any 1 year limit respectively. So any one accident limit should represent the paid up capital of the company subject to minimum of rupees 5 crore. Any one accident limit is fixed at 3 times the AOA limit maximum rupees 15 crores. No insurance policy taken out by owner shall be for an amount less than the amount of the paid up capital of the undertaking handling any hazardous substance and owned or controlled by that owner and more than the amount not exceeding rupees 15 crore. So public liability insurance policy is a type of business insurance cover invested by the business personnel that offer the financial cost of claims made by the public that have a certain connection with your business activities. Due to your work or business activities of any kind or if any third party happens to be injured or if their property is mangled, the third party can also make this claim against you. So because of this reason, it can also be called third party liability insurance. This can not only put a huge financial loss on your shoulders but also harm the smooth flow of your business. For example, a customer has come to your office and suddenly he slips and his knees gets injured due to the unevenness of your floor that lands him in the hospital. Now if they wish, legally they can make a claim for their financial loss against your insurance as compensation. So here public liability insurance becomes a masiha for you, as it offers to cover the legal cost as well as the other payable compensation related to a successful claim that is made by the customer or third party against you. So if you are associated with some works or business where you need to maintain contact with the public or third parties often and they need to enter your premises necessarily, it would be advisable that public liability insurance is essential for you. Public liability insurance covers against any claim made against your business. For example, if you were held legally liable for personal injury or for damages done to property, the insurance will also cover for your legal costs associated with defending claims against your business. So the Public Liability Insurance Act 1991 provides the entire provision how this policy shall be issued. The key advantages of the public liability insurance are: you can provide your business financial protection from unforeseen losses with the help of this policy. Some major advantages are that if there is any bodily injury, if an injury happens to the third party after entering your office and that has a direct connection to your business, the medical expenses will be covered by this policy. The policy also protects you from the offenses like false arrest, wrongful entry, negligence, slander, and so on. Any basic third-party liability arising due to the damage that has occurred to the property of the third party, that comes under the coverage of this policy. So this policy covers the legal expenses of the lawsuit against you brought by the customer. The general liability insurance protects you when your marketing division does not copyright violation of the member of the public and liability arises out of this condition. If you run your business in a rented place and any liability arises if you have entered into a leased contract, this policy bears that expense. So though in India there are no fixed types of public liability insurance and it may vary from company to company, commonly the following types of this insurance policies are offered: public liability for industrial risk for godowns, warehouses or other manufacturing units; public liability for non-industrial risk for non-manufacturing units such as BOPs, BPOs, IT firms, hotels, restaurant, school, club and so on. Public Liability Act 1991. As per the Public Liability Act 1991, business units that deal with hazardous substance are required to take it. So anyone with whom you interact with the association of your business activity except the employees can be covered under this public liability insurance policy. Usually one can avail three types of public liability insurance coverages, likely public liability for industrial risk, public liability for non-industrial risk, and for all business units that deal with hazardous substance, major inclusions: bodily injury, property damage, legal expenses, accidental damage or injury. Public liability insurance policy covers all sums which the insured becomes legally liable to pay as damages to third party in respect of accidental death, bodily injury, disease and loss of damage to property. It covers some arising out of the claims first made in writing against the insured during the policy period, including legal costs and expenses incurred with prior consent of insurer, subject always to the limits of indemnity and other terms, conditions and exceptions of the policy. So all written communications of collectorate is expeditiously brought to insurer's attention and any information required regarding the same be given. Non-disclosure of misdescription would affect the admissibility of the claim. Normally the natural calamities are not covered under the policy because you can cover your legal expenses arising out of the natural calamities. To safeguard your business from this type of expenses, you can add this additional benefit with your public liability insurance, that is sudden and accidental pollution. If you fail any legal expenses related to the transportation associated with your business activity, you can add this extension to avoid that loss. You can also extend your existing public liability insurance policy to cover the legal expenses arising due to the carriage of treated effluent, etc. So serious accidents can occur as a result of mishandling of hazardous substance, and all industries or businesses that deal with these. The Public Liability Act 1991 offers immediate relief to people affected by accidents resulting from the handling of hazardous substance. Based on no-fault liability through insurance by owner who handle or control these substances, the major exclusions are professional errors, war or war-like situations, intentional damage, nuclear group of perils, business property damage, any willful non-compliance of statutory provisions, fines, penalties, punitive and exemplary damages, financial losses arising due to fines, punitive penalty or exemplary damages, losses arising out of the damage to property owned, leased or hired and under hire purchase or on loan to the insured or otherwise in the insured's control, care or custody, war and nuclear perils. There are certain business categories also that are excluded. Means any liability of railways and aircraft as airside operations, any liability of defense establishments, defective design except claim on amount of defective design of premises, theme parks, water parks and jam setup including swing etc. Vessels including their navigation, manufacturing, formulation facilities in the US and Canada. So factors to remember before going with public liability insurance. There are some key factors that you need to remember before selecting any public liability insurance. Know your business requirement. At first you need to assess and evaluate your business and the risk that your business is exposed to. Only then go for any insurance policy according to your convenience. It might be possible that your client has a minimum public liability insurance clause. In that case, if you do not have that level of cover in place, you might be breaching your agreement. Before selecting any company, go through their policy wordings minutely and know your policy in detail. So in case of a successful claim process, provide all the required documents as prescribed by the insurance company. Never try to provide any false information to them, otherwise it may hamper your smooth business flow. Any regular visitor of the public who comes to your office premises frequently can be injured within your property, or they may have some connections of their damage with your business easily. So basically anyone of the public can make a claim against your company is real. So Public Liability Insurance Act is necessary under these circumstances. Whether you need public liability insurance depends on where your business is located and its specific needs. It would be highly advisable to have a Public Liability Insurance Act policy if your business meets the following criteria, that is, if the client frequently visits your office, out of business requirement if you need to get access to any of your client's business assets, if you represent your client's business, or if you are using a third-party site for your business demands. So this is all about the Public Liability Act insurance.